All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Top Corner Podcast. If you miss us yet, we're back.
I don't think anyone missed us. I didn't even miss us.
Yeah.
But we're good to go.
We're coming with the hot stuff straight out of the oven.
And the cold water. Look at that. He yells at me every time, ladies and gentlemen, about no cold water. The diva over here making demands. Yeah. He's like, where's the cold water in the green room?
It's summer and it's freaking hot out there. It's like 90, 95.
I come from a room temperature family. You know what? That might be a poll that we put in on a busy weekend. I'm curious. Cold water or room temperature water? Because I'll tell you, because there's a theory, and you've heard this, I know, because you've played sports as well. Cold water is good for like just kind of pouring on yourself during a break. But really, if you need to consume a decent amount of water in a quick way time, it needs to be room temperature. Otherwise, it's a little too cold, and it kind of
what's crazy?
Makes it difficult for you.
You know what's crazy? Every time I work out, and for me, I just gotta get cold water because I feel like the cold water gives me the extra boost of energy, right?
It's like a miniature cold shower.
I feel like every time
I'm
doing room temperature water, I'm like, man, it's like it's slowing down my heart.
I could take a nap right now.
Yeah. Like I need that cold water, especially when I do burpees. My goodness, I just want something that would get me going.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would always do room temperature water at football practice, but then I'd have an ice cold Gatorade.
Yeah. So
I'd sip the Gatorade, and then I'd pour the room temperature water on me because I personally don't like cold showers or cold water or anything. Yeah. But then you drink a lot of the room temp water and then finish it off with a little bit of cold Gatorade to get that crispness. But there were kids that would like try to slam cold water and like be in pain, and I'm like, dude, that doesn't work.
Of cold water?
Yeah.
Dang,
slam, like chugging cold water. I'm like, God, that's miserable. Anyway, but good water talk. But yeah, we might put that poll out there. Do you enjoy room temperature water or cold water? Not sipping and enjoying, but like if you're like, I'm thirsty and this has to get in my body as soon as possible, like I'm dehydrated. I think more people might choose room temperature than you think. Yeah. But I do think that cold water will still win. I know that I'm probably the minority in that situation. That's okay.
I think a lot of people, they might probably go with the science behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Football transfer rumors. Man United, or as I call them, Chester, and Arsenal are battling for 30 million striker.
Yeah, who was that again? 30, because that's not a bad fee at all.
No. Interesting signing Federico Chiesa from Juventus, with Chelsea and Liverpool monitoring this situation too.
Chiesa's worth more than 30 million, I think.
Probably on performance.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, how old is he? Is he young?
He's not. So he's not like 21 or 22 or anything. But I know that he's not. He's not that much closer to 30. I don't think.
That might be.
He's 26.
26. Oh yeah, he got time.
There's plenty of stuff in there.
Wow. I feel like in a good club, his stocks might go berserk.
Well, because even though Juventus have not been playing as well as they are supposed to be playing in theory, but like Chiesa's always kind of been one of their bright spots.
Yeah,
he's always been one of their, because he's wicked fast down the wings. He has a good shot on him when he gets the chance. If everyone else around him is not playing that well, then your winger's out of options. Whereas your number 9 can kind of make something out of nothing if the rest of the team's not around them. Like, just get me the ball near the box and I can make it happen. But your wingers rely on a lot more. They rely on service in the midfield, activity moving up into the box, and like if he's only wicked fast and can cut inside, that's all he can do. And then when it's around is working for him.
I thought Arsenal, United. I feel like for United, Ivan Toney might be someone good just because he's kind of versatile, and he is also that one guy that won't miss. No, it won't miss because everybody misses in a sense, but it's more accurate and you can rely on him, and he can also create chances if him scoring doesn't go his way,
Yeah.
So because that's kind of what a team like United needs when you haven't had a system set up like a City or an Arsenal or that team playing kind of system. You will need someone that can fend for yourself if push comes to shove, like something like that.
I don't see where he fits in Arsenal. Well, let me rephrase that. I see where he fits in general in a team. He's a right-footed left winger, very quick, but I mean, you're not playing him over Martinelli, are you? You're not playing him over
No,
Trossard. It's just like I just don't get where he fits in that lineup for Arsenal.
he's a striker, Nick.
But he plays a lot. He plays a lot in the
On the left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean, unless he like in Arsenal, they want to drop him as a 9. That would be the only thing, because you can remove the left, you can remove the right. The reason why, like, even for Arsenal, I would think either a pure striker will really work well in their favor, because they have a lot of creators in it already.
Yes,
like that will remove the burden of trying to score from Saka, because Saka is good. Don't get me wrong.
He's not a goal scorer.
The probability for him to score, it's minimal.
Yeah.
And the one thing that he's also good that I like about him, but that's also not good in a sense. He doesn't attempt very much, because sometimes he doesn't think it will go in. So he's more of like, should I attempt or know exactly that this is at least gonna hit the target?
Which is a good thing overall, because when you watched his first 2 or 3 seasons when he was very young at Arsenal, he was taking a lot of chances. He was holding onto the ball, waiting for his chance much more often, to the point where it was common knowledge where if he has the ball, it doesn't matter if he rips it down to the corner post. It doesn't matter if he cuts inside for an attempt. He's not getting near the net.
That's why I say it's good and bad for me, especially like, because he's the same thing as Dembele. If you watch Dembele throughout the Euro, you can see Dembele's, like, you can see on first thought he swings that left leg trying to take it, then feint. And the position already has blocked and tackled. Then he passes, and everything has already moved this side, and there's nothing more. You got to create chances on the left side now, or swing it back. So that's what I'm saying. If you have that good striker that would just like, hey, you don't have to attempt, just get me there, then I would just connect it.
And I think that you're right. I think that an Ivan Toney is much better for that in that situation. And I think that if you bring in Federico Chiesa to be a number 9 when he's played a lot as at least a left center forward. Like never is he really the center man. You're doing a lot of what I think Arteta tries to do often, and it seems to end up working late, but at least it works, of trying to get people to play out of their natural position into a system. Like Pep does, where he creates a system, but really Pep is making educated choices of getting the right guys in the right positions naturally, as opposed to
that's true.
Forcing guys in. Because like, if all of a sudden we have a guy that spends more of his time in the left wing as a number 9, aren't you kind of using someone like Gabriel Jesus in a way that's like, it's just you're not putting him where he's naturally gifted at?
You know what is tricky? Most people don't realize people rarely forces people out. Like, not that during a game they will not play out of position, right? But like, the natural position is actually where they always start and why they're bringing.
That's why they're there in the first place.
You know, he just mostly wants them to play a certain role from that position, or that whole if I can call it, that whole space, which is it might be from left to right, you know, on the middle or whatever. But he just wants you to be more of like, I could change position or rotate at any time, but my position is that's it. You know, instead of, hey, you're left guy, we're gonna play you on the right when you get here. So or I mean, a really good example of this past summer competition, you know, Foden being a middle channel guy. No, we're not throwing him out on the wing. And then it comes down to, you know, like playing guys in their natural position, and then whether they sink or swim in the system is their kind of their control. Because Jack Grealish is a good example. He didn't play him in a different role than he played at Villa very well. Like in terms of where he was at on the pitch, and kind of what he was expected to do, at least offensively. It's just that he was restricted in other avenues, and that really affected his game. So speaking of Jack Grealish, right? Manchester City have decided to sell Jack Grealish amid concerns over his off-field conduct.
I didn't see this. Where's this?
It's one of the reports. I think the first one, if you click on it and you just kind of navigate
just keep
down.
Scrolling. I'll let you be the newsman today. Anyway, so yeah, I mean...
But is that such a thing? I mean, off-field conduct, unless he's not shooting at people, like if he's just drinking, enjoying himself and getting drunk, or I guess a lot of clubs, especially when you work for a company, they want these big clubs, they want you to be a model out of, because you're still representing the club in a way. But is that such a big concern?
Well, but then you also have to think about, you know, a lot of the guys that have their stories back in the day, like Gary Neville.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, like Roy Keane, they have all the we used to go out every Tuesday, like they had like the Tuesday night club or whatever it was, and you show up to training hungover, but you know what? You did your work. Jack's not doing the work. I mean, like,
that's true.
Look, if he was starting, if he was banging in goals, and if he's out on the town, but he's not being like you said, like belligerent or anything, if he's not throwing glass bottles that people are starting fights, but he's just partying, that's not an issue to me. If you're showing up and doing the work, but like if
gotta be a Dennis Rodman, man.
If you're show up exactly, if it's affecting your training, like if we can look at seriously, like here are the numbers that you were putting in, and they can, so week 3 of summer, your first summer where you were, showing that you had something to prove, and your shit's dropped that much, and you're still going out partying. Guess what, dude? You don't get to go party. You just don't get to. I think at least if you're at the top of your game, if Mbappe was going out 3 nights a week, partying, and was still playing the way that he is, that's okay.
Yeah.
If Dusan Vlahovic was doing the same thing, and he's not playing poorly, but he's playing not near what we were expecting 2 years ago when he was coming up. You might have to ask, like, is that affecting your play? Is that affecting your physicality? And I would say, if he's already out of favor with management, Jack Grealish, he's not playing like he's supposed to be. And then there's that going on top of it. I mean, just give me a reason, man. I'll let you go. Give me a reason.
Have you heard about this kid, Lenny Yoro? He plays in, I think in France. And I don't know the first about. I haven't really dig too much about him, but Madrid is also in the race.
Yeah.
Or they could accelerate their plans to buy Lenny Yoro, and this is according to Relevo in Spain. It's I guess a news or outlet or whatever. After learning that Lille have knocked 10 million off his asking price.
Wow.
So an offer of 50 million should be enough to sign the young defender.
Why would they knock the price? Like, why would they drop his price like that?
I don't know if they need. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know if they need money like right now. If they're junkies.
Maybe.
Junkies need money right now. And they will sell you anything for.
He's 18 years old. Give him one more season, and I bet instead of asking for 50, you could ask for 65.
That's the thing about clubs that are mostly,
Jesus, he's tall. Sorry, he's 6'3". I'm looking at his sheet right now.
For real?
18 years old. He's 6'3".
Dang.
Jesus, big bitch.
But I don't know, man. Clubs that are really on more of like selling young players, they really don't think that long of a game.
Which is foolish though, because like you finished 4th place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying try to win the league, but I'm saying like if you maintain a Champions League or Europa League spot, like that's more revenue coming in.
Yeah.
That therefore you could potentially be covering a lot of what you would be asking for him anyway, and he gets to stay with you for another year, and that increases his value the older that he gets. Get him on one extension, and when he has 3 years left and he's 21 or so, let him go for 65 or 70, and you're still in European competition. I get what you're saying of like if you're so used to being a selling club, you need the money right now. But the longer that you stay in these extra competitions outside of just your domestic league, the more money that you make overall by playing well and like letting all of your good guys go early. That kind of ensures that you're out of those competitions early, and that's less money in your pocket too.
That's true. Liverpool are weighing up whether to make a fresh offer for Anthony Gordon, having learned that Newcastle will not sell him for less than 70 million.
70 million? That's not
a bad price for him. No, I don't think so, no. The market is crazy right now. People are weighing options versus, do I really need him, or is he gonna go like this? Is he worth the money? For Liverpool, I feel like Anthony Gordon might be worth it if he's gonna play.
I think so too.
Yeah, just
a left winger with some sort of aim, but and being nice about it. But Luis Diaz is not the best finisher. Anthony Gordon is a good finisher on the left wing. He's not as fast, but he's not slow either.
Now my thing would be, do I really buy Anthony Gordon or find a striker that is less that's a young striker he has speed and everything and costs less? Because there's already veterans players around him, and I got Luis Diaz on the side that runs, that can dribble.
Yeah.
Hey, don't shoot anymore if you don't have to.
Potentially just feed the ball back inside.
Yeah, link it back to this guy, and this guy will put it back instead of investing high for a guy that you already kind of have.
I think Ollie Watkins could do well in the center for them, and I don't think that they would ask for that much money. And I think that's a player that
right now will
for
be
that
the
value
time,
because
because if you give that guy 1 or 2 years. Because Aston Villa the coach is still there. And if he
Unai
still
Emery.
does good, yeah, Emery. If he still does good next year, I think his asking price might go crazy. It might go 80 to 90.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without it,
So
because
this will be the time.
because Ollie Watkins, he's what 26,
Yeah,
something like that. So
26, yeah.
he's got plenty of. He's probably got 2 solid moves left in him. I would say
Yeah.
at that high level.
So I will, that's true.
Yeah,
So,
Liverpool and Gordon and Watkins both seem like they would fit well in that front line for Liverpool.
yeah. So Alfonso Davies, I was saying a picture today actually on One Football, and they had this whole layout of positions or whatever, and you had the same thing like you say, you had Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo on middle, you had Camavinga, who again I think I can pull it out, but I was just saying that you say Madrid is trying to make up their mind whether to pursue Alfonso Davies. Now, there's also a lot of reports saying they are actually doing, and some are saying they are just waiting to see after the Copa America to initially go after him.
Yeah.
But
because that's usually a courtesy thing. Like if a player's in a summer competition, the club doesn't bother them or their management while they're in that competition.
Yeah.
We have several weeks after the competition before the season starts.
Yeah.
To finish the paperwork, but they've been on verbal agreements for months and months now, so it's not so much that it's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't pester him with paperwork during the competition. That's sort of that unspoken.
So
posture.
how do you think this might work out though? Like, man, I feel like Davies going to Madrid might be a rebirth just because he has potential. He has he has everything. Just the defensive skill is not at point, but he always makes up for it. But lately in Bayern, especially, has he been injured this year? He didn't play that much.
He had several minor injuries that once they started accumulating, there was a lot of time off.
I was him. I'll make the move. I'll make the move just because there's hype.
Mm-hmm.
There's hype. I'm thinking about my life, my career.
Yeah.
How it's going for me right now at this club. I'm not really getting the time.
Yep.
So
and then also think about it this way as well. You're not just going to Real Madrid. If you're a midfielder. We've said it. You might not want to go to Real Madrid, right? Like there are times where everybody wants to go there, but that doesn't mean that it's the best time for you to go there. Davies would be going there at this rare time where the back line is in a lot of transition.
Yeah.
And your position, particularly your position, is something that they desperately need. Whether they want to admit how much they need it or not, they need someone on that left defense badly.
Yeah.
Not just their center backs because they're a little bit older and fragile and they need more of a rotation, but your 2 fullbacks, one in particular, which is your side, is desperately needed. The number 1 club in the world desperately needs you at that position. You can't say no to that.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
You can't.
If you're McAllister and Madrid show interest in you, you like in your head you visualize this thing of like me starting at Real Madrid's great, and you might if you play your ass off, but at the end of the day that's just too much competition.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it.
Yeah,
and you don't know, because with a lot of competition like that, the slight injuries should never be an option, because the slightest injuries injured you get, and you sit on the bench just for 1 or 2 weeks, and they put someone out there that will show off.
And even if
it might not be.
And even if you stay healthy, even if you play well when you're out there, but you just don't get that many minutes, that does affect your value across for other clubs. Like they'll be like, I know that you played well, but unfortunately you played 40% of the season, and that's not enough for us to justify your price tag, even though your quality on the pitch does.
Yeah.
We just didn't see it. We have to see that you can still do all of that regularly. So it is the time for him to go there. There's no downside to going to the best club in the world when they desperately need your position filled.
Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise joins Bayern Munich.
Is that official?
I think it is. The France 21 international becomes the Bundesliga giant's second arrival of the summer after meeting reported 60 million release clause.
Interesting.
So, you know what's crazy? And we were talking about this, but it's crazy that if you have a young talent, right, you potentially set you have him on 5-year contract, and you set his release clause at like what 40, 50, not thinking he might be a big shot, right? But I don't want to set it too high, because no, I don't want to set it too low because if he's a big shot, I'm losing, but not too high because if he's never gonna get there, it's pointless. So I'm saying 40, 60. Now he becomes a big shot, and you don't have, and he's still in contract, so you don't have the say in, hey, no, or I want more money. So guess what? I can just trigger his release clause for half or even less than half the price you will have asked if the cats were in your hand.
Yeah, well, and they need someone on that that right wing that's left-footed. The only person they have really that plays that naturally is Leroy Sané. So
yeah,
and I mean, and he's a good player. He's not too old to be worrying about filling the role for that sake. But I mean, Leroy Sané did not reach his potential at City, and it looked like he was going to at Bayern. But we can agree that he didn't quite get to the level that was expected of him based on the flourishes that he did show. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
it's not saying that he's bad, that he's performed poorly. I don't think he's performed poorly, but when you're expected to break through to that next bracket, I would say that he didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, bringing in a 22-year-old seems to have a good shot on him. I mean, not too much of a risk, but a lot of a potential reward for him. It's a good move. Good move for him.
Hey man, go get your money, brother.
Get it.
Go shine bright like a star.
That's nice.
Madrid confident of beating Barcelona to 150 M. I'm talking M for M signing.
M&M's. It's a lot of candy.
Florian Wirtz. Yeah.
150 is a shit ton, and I don't know. Like we've had this conversation, and I think that you kind of disagree about it. I still say no player is actually worth 100 million
unless you're MBAPPE.
Unless
you were Neymar, unless you were Messi, unless you were Ronaldo, unless you were Zidane.
Maybe I still don't know about like whether you pay that price or not. I just don't think that $100 million
in this era, right? If you get to the likes of, the gate of opening being a superstar, you deserve it in a sense because you're thinking, well, they're gonna sell a lot of jerseys. People are coming to look at them, watch them. They don't come for whatever the rest.
For the president.
Now back in the days because Zidane was actually the first one to book the biggest contract in 2004-5, if I remember. I think he was close to, actually, if you convert what he was bought for at the time, he's still the biggest in this with inflation.
If you calibrate it back.
If you calibrate it back. So, but at the time he was worth it because you were getting basically the best Zidane ever. But for me, I just don't think like if you're gonna buy a player at 150 million, it has to be a player that can change the scope of the game once you put the player in. So it has to be a Messi generational talent. It has to be a Ronaldo. It has to be a Neymar. It has to be for MBAPPE. If you buy, I won't mind. If you buy Bellingham at this point, I won't mind. But Florian Wirtz, I don't know. That's a lot for him.
Well, and just let me say one thing again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not saying that the player is not worth it. As in, like, I wouldn't tell the individual people you're not worth X amount of money.
Yeah.
It's me looking at the executives going, what the fuck are we doing? Like you're now setting is the new floor for these. Like you've done everybody a disservice, and I think that you've done certain players a disservice because now these things are happening where whether that player is actually worth that money or not, they're going for it, and that's gonna fuck up other deals, and that's gonna get in the players' heads in terms of what their worth is.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you have players thinking if they're not worth $100 million, they're not a world-class player. Yeah. And it's not the players that did that. The players weren't saying, I want to be transferred for this much because they don't get that money. The club does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's not me saying that the players are not worth that money.
Yeah.
It's that I don't think that the executives should be asking for and, more importantly, paying that kind of money. If once or twice in 2 years Chelsea was asking for like 100 million, or like, someone was asking for 100 million, and everyone just said, fuck you. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be in this mess. But because you're buying someone for a price that's not even a real number, like at a certain point it becomes almost just numbers on a sheet of paper, not real money, it feels like. you're just setting a bad precedent for players and
yeah.
future investments. It's just
I would
bad.
say 100 million if I was in the deal, but I don't dictate. So this guy, if you don't know what he did this year, basically another prodigy on the rise. He registered 18 goals and 20 assists across all competition. He played for Leverkusen, in case you didn't know, and they won. You know what they won. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
That pesky Europa.
That's
God,
it.
what if they had won that, man?
And he's one of Germany's star player, and on their run to the quarterfinal at the Euros. If you are watching the Euros, so the guy is performing. Thinking about it's all over. You know, it's the Monaco MBAPPE, it's the Bellingham Dortmund, it's the whole thing all over again. But again, for usually you get that 150 M when you have shown at least 3 years of consistency in that, but not that young and just. Not, but hey, I don't dictate the market. It might be inflation, it might be the 150 million right now, might be how much Madrid paid for. Oh, they didn't pay a lot for Mbappe because he was out of contract already. But how much did Paris Saint-Germain pay for Mbappe to Monaco for?
Oh man, that was second, just under Neymar, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wasn't it like 190?
190, okay,
something crazy.
So I guess if you had to adjust again the inflation, because as you know, this economy, everything is just doubling each year. So that you might be looking at 200 something.
Yeah, that goal that he scored against Spain in the quarterfinal a couple of days ago was pretty wild. That was a good goal.
Maybe the 150 million.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. That's one of the. You'll never hear me say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. No one is worth that much.
It's all just fake numbers. It's all old guys in suits sitting down.
When you have money, right?
Numbers.
When you have money, you write blank checks.
But writing a blank check is never good business, though. Because the reason that most of these guys
tell that to the Qataris and
well, they've got an endless backing. It's like real like they're not real businessmen because they've always got a safety net underneath them. You have to spend money to make money, and I understand that. But you spend money to make money by spending less than you make. Like, not just I'm sitting on a pile of cash and it doesn't matter where it goes. That's not real money.
Hey, but wouldn't you want to ever sign a blank check? I want to sign a blank check one day. Because
the person across the table that I give it to is going to keep adding zeros, and I'm just going to be like, oh, no.
No, but you know what? I'll give you the check, and you keep adding. I'm like, is that all?
No. And then they keep adding, and you start sweating. Like, okay, we're done. No more. No more. Oh.
Another transfer rumor. We don't know. Like I said, if you heard it,
it's probably bullshit.
It might be. But guess what? You heard it here first.
You did.
Manchester United reaches agreement. Real Madrid learned Saliba price. So apparently Madrid is also trying to get Saliba.
Yeah.
If you are Saliba, would you want to leave right now? I don't know. I don't think
that's the one club I think that you don't fault him for going to. If you're at Arsenal, if you like the Arsenal project, even if he likes the Arsenal project, that is the one club that I think it sucks to see you go. I would hate to see you go. I would be mad at you for a considerable amount of time, but at the end of the day, it is Real Madrid, and they just came off a Champions League,
and they're
doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And you have a great chance of getting in and kind of just picking up right where they left off.
And the good thing about you coming as a defender is like you don't have to really fight much because you're young. You know, the other young guy that's performing at that level is Militao, but injuries too. So you have Rudiger. Looks like you come in. Definitely rotation guys, and you have a good
he'll be great to train with though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Almost like invaluable to train with.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have a good veteran squad around you, people that have won, people that have been there doing this at the highest level, just training with them, so you're getting more experience. We're telling where the next 2-3 years you might be in your career. Now, what if I'm a player? I'm looking at certain things. If I want to go to a club, what is the club? Where they at in the whole goals and everything, and what am I getting for me? Because don't get me wrong, these guys want to play football, but I think some of them might be there for the money, but some of them also looking at their legacy. Like after I finish or after all said and done, how are they gonna talk about me? What conversations I'm gonna be featured in? Right? Am I gonna be in one of the best and to be in one of the best center backs? You can be really good and play for Lyon and all that, but you're never gonna get in that discussion if you never won Champions League. And you never won something,
right? And this is a real conversation that we can have. It's not so much like a recency bias thing. Like we've had the conversation about it. We're not discussing whether Virgil van Dijk is a great center back, because he is without a doubt. It's the conversation of people saying like, well, is he one of the best of all time?
Yeah,
genuinely saying, and it's like that's difficult. And Saliba is young enough and playing well enough to where we can legitimately soon start like not having the comparisons or lumping him in early, but like if he continues on this track, he can potentially be at that Van Dijk level and beyond, depending on what he does next. But the quality that we see in the short window that we've seen it, and it's not been flashes of little like moments of brilliance, it's been entire seasons of consistently beautiful play. So like we have a legitimate conversation in 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
About where he actually is in the landscape.
If I want to get in this conversation, I'm not saying Arsenal is not good, but hey, if you count the best CBs of all time, I don't think one Arsenal guy features him, because you gotta be winning these cups. If you ain't winning these cups, nothing is really backing you in a sense. I don't think so. Arsenal,
Tony Adams.
No, in the best CBs of all time, dude. There's so many CBs. You won't even. If you start digging the list, I look at because you're forgetting the how do you call him? You're forgetting the Beckenbauers. You're forgetting the 90s. Because Italy has actually, Italy has a plethora of best CBs of all time. Then you start getting the Premier League. Premier League, they don't have a lot of them. You start getting in Spain. But if you want to get in this conversation, what do you have to do? You gotta be able to, hey, I want this. It's not just a matter of I played for this amount of time, We need to look at stuff you will help win too.
Right. And I'm saying like so Tony Adams had 4 Premier League titles and 3 FA Cups. Now I'm not saying that there's no Champions Leagues in there.
Yeah.
Those are good numbers though. In terms of he has cups to show for it.
Yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying best series of all time is a whole different game.
I agree with that.
Because most of these guys have won either World Cup,
and that's why I kind of laugh at the whole Virgil van Dijk conversation. A lot.
We got and that conversation. Hey guys, stay tuned. We're gonna have it at some point. Yeah. But I'm just saying. So if I'm him, I'm going there because I can see myself winning a Champions League in 4 years. I can see myself performing at the highest level. The team is good, so the only thing that can happen in this team is the egos, and we get a shamble of 2005 when Madrid started doing the Project Galacticos and it all failed because there's so many great people around, but too much egos. So that's
where would you say like where would you rank Arsenal in terms of the best? Like so, I'm trying to think of how to say it. If Real Madrid, especially in their current state, I'm talking about the current states of clubs, not Barcelona.
You're not taking overall of
not
time.
Overall. Yeah. Just like where like right now and the trajectory of 4 years from now with this contract. Is Arsenal number 3 in terms of like where you would want to be? I would say that like and you're already there. Real Madrid number 1 in terms of like in the next 4 years, but then City. But then
if you're thinking of, hey, in the next 4 years, I want to win. I'm not saying top 3, but I'm saying I want to be at Arsenal because they are showing that they can be potentially, competitors. They have a great team. The management is good. The coach is good. They have a vision. They want to win. The players that they have put together that wants to win, and they're also willing to spend, because sometimes you want to win but you don't want to spend, thinking, hey, I can do the effective. Not saying you cannot do. Even the best, even City will go look for that guy that will help them win. Even Madrid will do. So they're showing that they have all the characteristics of big clubs that want to win, and they're one of them. So if I'm a player, Arsenal wants me, I will go.
Yeah.
But now where will I go? The position is a thing, but I will go. If I'm a striker, I'm going for Arsenal because the way they play, dude, I'll be scoring so much. I'll be in this conversation of who's the biggest strikers this year.
The striker for Arsenal is the left fullback for Real Madrid. It's like the rest of the squad is so tight. They're playing so well. And if that's your position, they are aching for you. They need you so badly.
There's so many balls that will be channeling to me, like from the midfield, Odegaard will be putting it on me, you know. Saka will be so like there's just I have the potential to get to that level, the highest level. So Arsenal is in there. It's in these conversations. Yeah. At this moment, Friends, someone was saying something interesting. Kylian MBAPPE admits to the Euro 2024 tiredness ahead of Spain versus France. He was tired, but he played. But he said this at the end or close to the end. No, actually halftime. He said he's so tired he wants to get out. So he's not the guy that will always be in, even though he's tired, trying to prove something. At least that's a good quality.
He needs a nap and a little apple juice. He's tired. He was tired.
Another thing, I was listening to, I forget who said it, Ian Wright or something. And they said it, and I was thinking, he was saying, the reason why we're having so many ties is because most of these players are tired. Yeah. And when you're tired, sometimes one thing you tend to do, either be a little conservative because you still don't want to lose. But it doesn't mean I want to try to spend every energy. Now, it's a theory. I'm not saying that's one of the reasons, because if you watch the Euros, it's been crazy. A lot of tie games, a lot of
extra time penalties.
If there was a stat,
especially
I haven't looked at it, but I think this Euro of any competition have been the competition that has had a lot of extra times for any games, because there's a lot of them. I mean, if I was betting, oh man, I would be winning all kinds of that. I just
but it's
they're going to extra time.
It's so many to the point that, like, God, dude, once you're in the 80th minute and it's 1-1 and neither one's controlling it, like you're just like, God, 30 more minutes,
and you don't see that influx of pure euphoria where the players are trying to score at any time. No, it's like, I'm gonna send it there. He gonna send it back, and we're gonna kill this time and go to extra time.
Run out the clock, boys.
So, might be a theory to consider for you guys that do all the. I'm talking to the organization that do all these games. Might start thinking of breaking. And actually, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, would the players actually have time? I don't think so, because after this is done, what you got you start preparing for next season. Yeah, man, they gotta have some time. I don't know who's going to.
They have 4 weeks with no matches, but they will be training in the process.
Because now you gotta get in season. But I don't know who's going to the Olympics on France side or whatever. If there's some players in that squad, because usually for the Olympics for soccer, I don't know if you knew, you take 5 professional. The rest are not professional instead, but in a sense. But
didn't Real Madrid say no to MBAPPE? Didn't they say fuck off?
Madrid was like,
you're not doing that. You're not doing that.
But I'm spending a lot. MBAPPE is not great. Because Henry actually, because Thierry Henry is the coach for the France Olympic, he said he's not going to ask because there's no point of asking. He just knows they're not going to accept. But before MBAPPE was going to Madrid already even had that.
You're not doing that.
If you're not doing that. But it will be interesting to see you leaving the Euros or the Copa and just joining the other team. It's like on a roll. But I know for the US, our guy that is in Nashville soccer, what's his name? The blonde guy.
Walker Zimmerman.
He's going for the Olympics.
Good for him.
Yeah. Good for him.
They got Nashville got smacked up 4-1 last night against Portland. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Red card as well.
Dang.
It was 4-0 at the half.
Yeah.
But all 4 goals were dropped in before that red card. That red card was in like the 35th minute, but they had just. I think it was from the 18th to the 27th minute. There were 4 goals.
For real?
There was like a 15-minute gap. A 15-minute time frame where all 4 goals went in.
Dang.
And you're just like, well, we were glad we didn't watch it because we got home late because we went to a movie and came back, and because it was played in Portland, the kickoff time was at 9:30 at night.
Okay.
So the second half was about to start, and we put it up, and it was 4-0 as they were coming out. I was like, Jesus. So I turned it off. There's no point. Why am I watching that? I'm not watching that game. It was bad. But yeah, so Zimmerman to be part of the Olympics. Good for him.
Good.
Maybe Shaq Moore. No, I would say keep everybody.
Yeah, Shaq Moore is going. Is he?
I hope not.
He might be going.
I hope that the whole squad gets to kind of stay around because Shaq Moore was tied up in the Copa America, and now he's back.
Oh yeah.
So that'd be nice to not have him there.
That's true. Wow.
Anyway, we had too many competitions.
Yeah.
A few too many. Would you agree with that?
I will agree and not agree. Well, it's crazy. I think they have to start thinking about the gap, like the years, because hey, if it's just continent like Copa America and yours, yes, but you got the Olympics in the same year,
Yes.
so that's like
One summer competition a year. Only one. You got to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, you got to figure out because you're also killing players, and you know it's crazy. There've been so much competition, especially this time around, like the landscape of football in a sense that even the pundits are complaining. You know, the pundits never complain because they're
like, dude, I'm tired.
They're like, hey, they always like to blame players, you know. But when they start complaining on behalf of players, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Something because now it's really money hungry. It's like we gotta have competitions to squeeze all the milk out of the cows.
Yeah.
So
and the cows are tiny and wrinkled and famished.
So I know
nothing left, guys.
I forgot what player that a lot of competition like that affected him. Oh man, I forgot. I don't know if it was an Arsenal player, but someone like Saka. I think Pedri. Pedri, it's the same thing. At such a young age, he plays so much games.
Yeah,
it was not good for him. That now that you're supposed to be for someone like him entering his prime, there's no prime because there's no time for your body to start adapting. At 18, 19, you're playing that many games. That's not good for you.
Yeah.
And the worry was also Saka because not just the competition, but the way he was always being beat up on the field. It's like, dude, this guy's not even 25 yet.
Yeah.
Will you even get to 25?
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. And when you're thankful for your 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
Before the start of the season, it's like something's not right there, man.
That's probably why the players go party crazy.
I would too. Hell, Jesus, let it go,
man. If you have been watching the Euros, the Copa America, I'm telling you, the games are hard, but not only hard, man. They just don't the amount of talent that doesn't feel don't really translate to really how beautiful you want to see the games go to or how you want to see the game being played. But it's still good. It's still good football.
It's pure sex, isn't it? I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's something like that. But what games were you like, man, I thought these guys would win? Portugal, France, honestly, I could see I could see the tie from a mile away.
Yeah.
I could just see it. But it's interesting. Like, I personally, Ronaldo is a legend, but I would have dropped him for that game. I would say I'd probably put him at 20 minutes from the end or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because the two things. Because first of all, I want to give the chance to another player. The second thing is the other player will be much young, much talented at this time. Not saying overall.
Yeah.
Because we gotta admit Ronaldo is old. Like, I know he has this great mentality, but mentality doesn't beat your body when it's time.
Yeah.
Because you can tell on the field he tries some things that he used to do easy in his young day. It just doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
Because the body also, So
his mentality what allowed him to get to the next level when his body could do it.
Yes.
The mentality is still there, but it's not. It can't make what's impossible for the body to do anymore.
Yeah. So I would have dropped him, just try to get the most out of a young squad and put Ronaldo at the end. Because if you bring in that guy that season, he has been there, will motivate these guys. So we can do this, but just making sure you got all your chance, because it's pointless to occupy space when you're not really productive in the overall game. Now I can save you for a good 15 minutes. Come with the whole energy and give me a good 15 minutes.
With that said, I do agree that Ronaldo is probably not. It's probably not best to keep him around anymore. And so, penalty miss aside, we can admit João Felix is not the guy, right?
No, João Felix is not the guy.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate because he is like, he reminds me a lot of Ousmane Dembele in that way of like, man, he'll show up for 3 weeks back to back in domestic. And play very well, and then he'll be gone for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and he stays at too many different clubs. You forget where he's at.
Yeah.
You forget how well he's doing there. How much time is he actually putting in these games? Oh, he's only on loan. Where's he going to? He's not even playing while he's on loan. Why the fuck not? like these.
Yeah,
It's just
all that shows.
it's been messy with transfers. You shouldn't be transferring everywhere, but also you got to make the most of what you have out there, and he just doesn't seem like he's doing
it's
it.
like you shouldn't be, but it's not in your hands too. It's a team gets you on thinking, man, I'm getting the best thing, and the best thing since sex. Then after 2 weeks, you're like, what?
Like, this is not good sex at all.
No, I gotta quit. Then and the next team, you're just getting passed around. That's just it.
Yeah.
It's not. I want the guy to perform, but
they got to figure.
Reality.
Yeah,
they got to figure out how he's got to figure out how he has to do.
Well, that's the really unfortunate thing. That's why I kind of linked those two things together, because if you're letting go of Renault, like, you need to be letting go of Felix too. That's 2 players up front that
for me
you're kind of missing out on now.
After this year, you can let go. You can accept Ronaldo. Now, if he plays a little bit really good and try to hold on a little bit to the World Cup, and you call him, he cannot be the main guy.
No,
he can be the guy that will support the team because he's a veteran, that will encourage, but he cannot have his position cemented.
Yeah,
he has to be a sub. He has to come in 15 minutes from the end,
or maybe some sort of formation where he's up there in like a 2 forward front. But
he cannot play the whole thing. The reason I'm saying that because you're gonna occupy space in the sense that he has little time to be productive. That's as much as his body and everything allows him to do, because he's not that Ronaldo anymore. And then we go having this type of player always. It's good. Miller, I don't know if you heard about Miller. He's a player that if you want to go dig into, you can go. He was a Cameroonian player. I mean, he's still a Cameroonian player, but he doesn't play us. Back in the 90s, the reason why the 90s, when people score and go celebrate in the World Cup, celebration like that wasn't the thing. You always need black guys to come and show you how things are done. He scored and he went to celebrate. And Cameroon was the first African team that went to the quarterfinal. And this guy was 40-something. And then he was running everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm not saying he cannot do that, but Ronaldo has given so much throughout the career that his body don't allow him to do those things. But keep him for 15 minutes, that's good. 20 minutes, you want the whole impact.
And he can't be up there alone.
No.
If you have him out there, it cannot be where Silva and Leao are kind of pressed back into the midfield. You have to have a 3-man front, and he has to be the one that kind of sits back almost like a false 9, but he needs to be on the defensive line because he's still not slow, but he's got a great shot and he can get around players really easy. But you've either you can't have him being the only guy up front waiting for service. You have to have guys in the wings to spread things out and give him more space.
So Deschamps was responding to to question about France games being boring. And he said, well, go watch something else. That's what he said. Hey, man, if I get to his stage, I would say anything, too.
He could have been like, it's boring for you, but I'm a nervous fucking wreck. Like, this thing's a thriller for me. Yeah, good God.
I can kind of understand what the French, press and everybody has been saying for the last years. He's been so
They are boring to watch.
Conservative because they have the talent, but he's playing this whole deal that makes them so extra conservative and just sit down, wait and try to counter. You can't try to. You have Mbappe, you try to counter. You have Demba, you have Bakola, you have Kante. What you trying to counter for?
Yeah,
you have the team that can play this whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, just march down the field. Yeah. Make it. Yeah, take your time with it. Pull them apart. You can do it.
You can do it. There's no point counter. You got Saliba at the back.
Yeah,
you have everywhere, everybody where they're supposed to be. There's no point trying to counter.
Yeah,
so that's a problem.
But I mean, it's a decent question to ask. I mean, like they are England are boring to watch. France are boring to watch.
You know what's crazy? I think this might feel. I think wherever he gets at this Euro, I think they will call for him to be sacked or he might leave.
It's a Southgate scenario. Because no matter what happens, I think you're going.
And the last 4 years, listening to Jam Media, I was like, they just overdoing it a little bit. But now I'm seeing all of them, like, they're not overdoing it because the one thing that backs him up, other than Southgate, is like he has the talent. When you talk about things that someone do that's not good, but he has the accolades to prove that
Yeah.
he's good. It becomes difficult because every time he's gonna be like, well, I won the World Cup, I won the Euros. So
Yeah, and
so it's like
it's kind of more justified to be mad, and you might disagree. It's kind of more justified to be upset with the person that has won that's not winning
yeah.
than the guy that's never won that's not winning. Because you can do that. You can go, well, look at me, I won the World Cup. It's like, okay, then why go do it again?
Yeah.
Unlike Southgate, where it's like, you're kind of breaking English managerial records by not winning. And it's like, I'm not being like, but I mean, like he is doing these things. But like, if Deschamps won the 2018 World Cup and got to the final last in the 2022 one, you've shown that you can get there with style. You have the quality. But so like, it's a bit more frustrating to see the guy that's done it before falling short or being less convincing than we know that he is.
Seriously, I thought France would be running Europe for a long time. The reason why I say a long time, if people want to question, is their talent wasn't just generational, like the young talent and prodigies that they have been having, right? It's not like Spain in 2010, where after that, Xavi, Villa, Iniesta, it was it. Because these talented guys came from La Masia and they were all playing the same, most of them were playing the same football, in the same, molded in the same place, where once time came for them to all retire, there was no transition.
Right.
For France has an abundance of youth because, it's from everywhere.
Different eras all put together that seem to be.
It's like, you had Mbappe at such a young age, you had Pogba, and now because the team hasn't really changed crazy, but you moving into the next 5 years having Mbappe now where he's gonna be entering his prime, so you'll be having the best guy, you have the Billy, you're having these other young guys that are coming that are the best again at their position, like Saliba at the back, in a sense. So you're not really running out of talent. You're having talent to replace talent. Now it's like, okay, I have that, so what am I doing with that? Am I wasting the next generation of talented players? The
only thing that they can really like replace or like need to worry about replacing in terms of quality, like apparently you're gonna have to worry about replacing Conte. Like that's I thought that he would have been a non-factor, and I mean that like he could have started, he could have been a rotation, but like I did not expect him to play this well. Like you have to assume that someone else in that squad could play as well as a 33-year-old that's been a year in the Saudi league, but no. That's the one guy they got to worry about replacing.
I would give Deschamps props because I didn't see it, because he also was getting criticism for that, because I know you don't listen to their media, but I was like, kind of. I mean, Kante hasn't been playing in Europe for a while. I don't think that's fair.
But I said it last week, if you were that good to begin with, 1 year in the Saudi league does not diminish your quality.
That's true, but I was just saying,
because you are that much better than everybody else.
Yeah, normally you also calling just guys that you've seen the next year that's at that level, So I too didn't expect that Kante. Now it also shows that the way Kante is playing, and then maybe every time we see playing, I thought Camavinga or Tchouaméni was already at the level to replace Kante, but actually they're not yet.
No, because he's that much better. Because it's not even that they're not good enough. It's just that he is still that good. Yeah. So
I think they still lack like the defensive poise. Like they might have the attacking poises, but they lack the defensive.
They have the attacking power, but they're not making the most of it.
Yeah.
By sitting back waiting for counters.
Yeah, that's true. Now that's his fault. So I want to see more from him. And if you watch the games, they play in Spain. Is this, for the semifinal
tomorrow.
Ooh, that's gonna be great.
Gotta sit back and watch that one.
Yeah.
I have to. I'm actually very excited for that one.
Yeah, Netherlands. So far for me, Netherlands and Switzerland, but they just eliminated Switzerland. They are the most team player team of the competition. It's a team rather than individuals.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for Netherlands, England. This might be. Wait, is it Netherlands, England? Yeah. This might be the tipping point. If Netherlands wins.
You asked me earlier, like which matchup were you most surprised by, or like really hoped went the other way? Like I thought that Switzerland could have taken down England for sure, and it's one of those where it's like, because I have no bias toward or against England. I know that like for American fans, they either realistically they either support England because it's a white nation and they identify with it,
That's funny.
That's our boys, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Or they hate England because of the history behind the two nations. I'm completely neutral with England. I like the storyline. I like the storyline of these individual players that are great players. Like, I like these players individually, but I have no affinity or liking for for the nation's team itself. I have no reason to root for them, but I do like a lot of these players on an individual basis because I watch mostly European soccer, and these guys are near the tops of their clubs all around Europe, wherever they are. But seeing them not being able to get the best out of themselves has been a very interesting storyline, and part of me wants to see it cut short to show that it is a managerial thing and that it needs to be fixed, but part of me wants to see it how far it can go based on purely raw talent that's not even being made the most of, and you see it every single time they step out there.
So guess what? And we'll talk about this and just transition 2 minutes to talk about something. Thiago, wait, before I get to even that, he's gonna leave after all said and done, right? After the Euro, Saudi is leaving either way, no matter the outcome. But for a team like the US, same scenario, right? You get beaten by, what was that team that beat them again?
Panama. There were some red card issue now, but again, and I've said this before with teams that I do and don't like. If it comes down to a bad call from a referee, you still lost that game. It does not matter. It's that way in American football as well. They do the whole thing of like, but that pass interference call, if you're allowing yourself to win or lose the game based on somebody else's decision, you didn't play well enough, and that's the end of it. The U.S. did not play well enough. That said, there were some very curious calls early on that set the tone, but the U.S. players never were able to really respond back to it. But they lost to Uruguay in a chippy fashion as well. But the Panama game was really where, I mean, if you wanted to control your own destiny, you had to beat Panama, and you could have lost to Uruguay. You could have drawn to Uruguay. But once you take the fate out of your own hands, it very rarely swings in your favor.
Yeah, I do agree. It's the same things. For the coaching thing, the U.S., as far as I'm concerned, and I've been watching them, the U.S. have had this time is the most, in terms of individual, the most talented individual players.
Yeah.
And they're not making the most out of it.
They're not.
In a sense. And you fire a coach, then you give him a job back. You fire a coach for incompetency, then you give him a job back thinking, hey, no, I fired you because you were incompetent, but I think you can be competent back.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
No.
Then there's not even talks of, you've seen how they've played poorly, and you're not even thinking of replacing the coach or whatever. So that's crazy for me. The same scenario, I think you have teams that you want to see more because you know they have more in them. Most of your players play in Europe, so they're playing great, and some of them are like in terms of just in the pocket of being as a talented individual, they are talked about, but we don't see the results in the national team because we know you can do it. Yeah, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah. The amount of talent out there versus, and I think that Balogun is impressive.
No, Balogun is impressive.
And it makes you, because like when Arsenal sold him last summer, I was not the most excited for that because because when you're at that level, when you're that young, when you are that promising, you're never going to get the amount of money that the player is going to be worth.
Yeah.
Because they haven't shown it. Like, it's clear that they're worth more than this offer, but because they're so young, they're not guaranteed. Like, you just when they close the deal, you're never going to look at the amount of money for a player that young and go, we got a good deal. It's because there's always more for them to offer. And you don't sell players that are that convincing and that young at that time, because you're just never going to get what you need to get out of them for it to be worth it. But they let him go. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't know, Thiago Alcantara,
Yeah.
Thiago Alcantara is retiring, and he confirmed it on social media. Just like my man Cruz officially is done.
Yeah.
I think Cruz had a solid 1 year in him, just even if he's in rotation.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I understand him. You gotta quit football before football quits you. It's like anything in life, they never go out by the window.
Yeah.
If you came by the door, try to go back by the same door.
Yeah,
the same thing. So I get him. I get what he's saying.
He was offered a coaching position, I believe, at Bayern as well.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, whether or not he takes it or not.
Oh man, if it's like, I will go in and
same thing though.
Assistant.
Give me some time. Like call me again in 2 years. Can I have 2 years where like I'm just chilling? I would very much like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be my one caveat if I was a player like that. And they ask me, like even in like press, if I'm Tony Cruz, I'm saying I'm retiring. Are you interested in coaching? It's like, yes. But give me time. Like seriously, give me like 2 years where like I don't have to think about football at all.
Yeah.
Because it's been my life since I was like 8 years old. Please let me stop for a minute. I haven't even like intellectually developed into an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these athletes, like, and with all due respect, they didn't go to college.
Yeah.
They've spent their entire life kicking a ball around.
That's true.
They're 32 for the most part, but like at the end of the day, their intellectual capacity is probably at what, like a 24, 25-year-old. You got to kind of catch up, read some more books, because I know that you're not reading books in your off time. Just kind of take some time, spend time with your family, and kind of grow into an adult. Because let's face it, most adults don't get to kick around a ball for a living.
Yeah.
So there's some things in life that you might need to kind of catch up on and work back through. But yeah, give me some time off, guys.
Hey, I don't know if you saw it, but Juventus and Inter Milan are interested in Joao Cancelo.
Yeah.
I won't buy him, man.
What happened to him, man? I don't know, because like he used to be, he was a great right back like 4 years ago.
I know. He hasn't just been.
I'm trying to think what could he work with Inter?
Could he?
If he's moving up down the wings, in like a bit of a wing back position, and you have guys like Barea spraying the ball out to him with Denzel Dumfries on the opposite side, and right in front of him you have Marcus Thuram. I don't know.
I don't know. Inter, I wouldn't go for him if my guys are still staying.
What's their right back situation, Inter? Let me check. Stand by.
Yeah.
I know, like you. I guess I like Joao Cancelo a little bit more than you, which is fine. I'm not saying that I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But
I just think that he never, kind of never lived up to what he was supposed to be.
He still has some time though. I mean, he's not ancient by any means.
No, he's not. But I see him more like a Morata now, like someone that's sporadic would have this 2
I can see
that
that.
and never. So it's like Morata. At some point, I couldn't keep track of where he was at.
Yeah.
So it was just everywhere.
So here are some of the here's some of the fullbacks that they have that you. So I'm gonna go through them. Could Cancelo be in rotation or start over any of these guys? Federico DiMarco.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he could be in a rotation with him.
Okay.
Denzel Dumfries starts, no question asked.
Yeah.
They play on opposite sides anyway, though, so that works in their favor. Benjamin Pavard. I think Cancelo could potentially start in front of Pavard. Like, there's room in that squad for him if him and Dumfries are on opposite sides.
Yeah.
That's not a horrible idea.
Yeah.
With Bastoni next to him, so that when Cancelo is kind of riding up, making creative plays, Bastoni, who's a bit more athletic for a center back, can kind of slide over into that middle position. And then you've got Barea, you've got Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan in the midfield, kind of giving you options of when to feed the ball back in. I don't know. There's some interesting ideas in there.
I don't.
I'm not in favor, but I can see why Inter would want to at least meet with him, and you know that they're going to get a decent price for him based on his current form.
Hey, Cancelo, get your money, bro.
Get him.
I got nothing to do.
And Inter, don't take a bullshit deal.
No way.
Don't take it.
Looking, and just before we finish, but looking at Copa America, I'm telling you, a team that has surprised me a lot has been Colombia.
Yeah.
And I think they have 27 games that they haven't lost. 27 games.
That's impressive.
And they are for me, I'm not going by your Opta analyst. I'm not going by the AI analyst.
All the geeks out there, all the geeks in the computers.
For me, I think Colombia is the most. They are in favor of winning this cup, and I think they're playing Argentina the next game.
It's Canada and Argentina.
Oh, they're playing Canada. They're gonna win Canada. I'm sorry for Canada, man, because Colombia's been.
No. It's Canada and Argentina.
Canada and so Colombia is playing. Who they playing? Uruguay. No. Uruguay.
Yeah, because they beat Brazil.
Yeah.
That's a good little semifinal.
That's actually a good thing. But I think if they pass Uruguay, they're gonna win this. Because the way they're playing, I saw them play. I've been watching the game. They've been playing so well, so good. James Rodriguez has been on another level. I'm talking this guy. He just turned it up this Copa America. And Diaz is. You talking about Diaz not scoring? This guy is scoring.
Good.
What?
That's the only thing missing from his game. So I'm glad. Good for him.
And since they haven't lost a game, for me, the way they're playing and everything, they are the favorite. That's for me. I know the Opta analyst said whatever they were giving it to Argentina, but now these guys, Colombia has been doing their thing. So I'm happy. I want to see where they will go at and everything. So
Spain and that's actually a good time break difference too, because I mean the Copa America games are a little bit later in the day. Tomorrow we have Spain and France at 2 p.m. and then we have Argentina and Canada at 7 p.m.
Yeah, so
we can easily watch both of those back to back and not really miss anything or get spoiled. I'll probably try to watch both of those, Spain and France for sure. Yeah. That's one you got to see all of for sure.
James Rodriguez has been absolutely spectacular in this Copa America. 4 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. This guy is killing it.
Wow.
Yeah. So Diaz doing the same thing, and 27 games unbeaten. So guys, let's go. It's another run. The thing about the stats of unbeaten, you just kind of feel the crack is coming.
Right.
You just don't know where it's gonna come from, but you feel it. But hey, I'm happy for them.
The more it keeps stacking up, the more likely it is for it to come down the next time around. But
that's it. Hey, like I said, if you don't like watching us, go listen to us on Spotify.
Yeah. Open your ears, jackass.
Yeah. And go on our YouTube, go on the tube, listen to us, subscribe.
The boob tube. You've heard that expression before. Yeah.
You know.
If not, then you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notification, and we're on everything, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you name it, we're there.
Yeah, even if it's just to call us dorks, call us losers, send us a comment and we'll see what goes on.
Yes,
we'll see what transpires.
Well, I'll let you with this thought. I don't know.
Damn.
Bye.
Bye.